Hey, what's up, Hope Shot family? Welcome back. Today is Addiction to Success series, and we got a special guest, man. We got Billy on here. He's going to share his story with us. Sorry we're a little late. Had some technical difficulties. I had to rush back. It's always fun when you forget a password, isn't it? So we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are here. If you guys are just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. And do me a favor, when you guys are jumping on, hit that share button. It takes 2 seconds to share this live feed. Everything helps us, man, supports us. And then when you're done sharing, come back and let us know that you shared. Put it in the comments. Yay, what's up, Jerry? Anyway, so I'm going to let Mike introduce our guest, Billy. So go ahead, Mike, if you want to introduce Billy and get right into it.
Sure thing. What's up, guys? I'm Justin. I'm going to teach you how to use a Google Keep app for your passwords after this. So stay on the broadcast after you shut down.
Listen, I've been using the same passwords for everything, and I made this one easy because it's the Hope Shot computer, and I'm drawing a total blank, like literally.
Yeah, that's called being shut out, friend. I can relate to that.
Appreciate you, Mike.
So I met Billy pretty much right away back in 2012, and but I don't know. I sponsor a little bit differently, and some people look down on it in the 12-step fellowships, but I'm like really good friends with my sponsees, man, and they become like my brothers. And we all have an understanding. When it's go time, it's go time, but when it's not, man, we're super close. And Billy's one of those guys that's been with me probably the longest. And I just remember Billy coming and walking into the noon meeting, or the 5:30 meeting with his McDonald's outfit on in 2012 before he went back to the halfway house, and he just needed to hit a meeting, dude. And I don't know. I don't say this about many people, but I love Billy since the day I met him, because he's just an amazing guy. And just how far he's come. And when you hear him talk, you won't probably pick up on it. But I'll be honest with you guys, like, Billy is one of the humblest people I've ever been around. He does so much shit that he does not tell people about, man. And I've always respected that about Billy. And he's moved forward now in his life, and he's super successful. He's doing a lot of things. He's getting married here in a few months. I'll let him tell you that story. But it's my real genuine pleasure to introduce Billy Lewis.
Thanks, Mike. I love you, man. I appreciate all you've done for me in my life. He always hears me in crisis mode. I always go running to Mikey when I get a crisis, usually. Other than that, he might not hear from me for like a year at a time.
That's how I know you're in real crisis.
Because I call. I don't know, man. If you guys would just, I hope it's not against the rules or nothing. Would just say a prayer with me real quick. Dear God, please use me as an instrument of your peace and your mercy. Please allow me to help somebody tonight. All right, my name is Billy. I'm a junkie and a drunk. I do things like, drink until I black out and wake up in my piss on a daily basis. I would steal from my sick, dying mother, steal a car, steal a painkiller, steal her money, dying of cancer. One of my kids got given up adoption because I chose to drink over her. There ain't a whole lot pretty about it, I started real young. But the first time of me drinking, it was the story told to me by my family. I don't actually remember it. I was 4 years old. And I used to go around the house, and the kids, everybody's partying, and I'd take drinks of their drinks. And then I don't remember doing the drinking, but I remember waking up because I woke up naked, covered in piss, in my sister's bed, and that was weird on so many levels. You know what I mean? I had no idea that was going to be a theme for my life. Me waking up naked in my own piss places. Most normal people. The first, maybe the second, like, you might get away with this 2 or 3 times, right? But like most normal people would just stop drinking at that point. You know what I mean? But not me. You know, not me. I found something, and I didn't know this at 4, but I did know it at 10. You know, I knew it at 10 years old. I was smoking weed and drinking every chance I got, and taking painkillers just a few years later. And what I had was a solution to my problems, man. I was never felt comfortable in my own skin. I was never in the right place at the right time with the right stuff, you know, ever. And when I got that stuff in me, man, you know, be it painkillers or alcohol or smoking a little weed or whatever, I was finally there, man. I was in the right place at the right time with the right stuff. I felt comfortable in my skin, man. You know, I could just be, you know, I could just be a human being, man. And I wasn't always neurotically worried about what other people thinking of me or thinking I'm less than everybody else, whatever else was going through my head at the time, you know. And you know, I did a lot of. I'm a particular low moral character, although I shouldn't be because I come from a good family. I had a good mother, a strong woman. You know, she was a battered and abused housewife who like got herself out of that and became the chief financial officer of a pretty big seed company. You know, so she was a really good role model. Incidentally, that's my first memory. Like, not thinking about it, that was like my first memory as a kid, dude. Was I crawled in their bed and like they started arguing about something, and the next thing I know, she's holding the covers up like this, and he's just decking her in the face. You know what I mean? And like I'm not like saying that so people feel bad for me. You know what I mean? I want to illustrate this point very carefully, and I want to just emphasize this point. I don't know what that did to me because I ain't a shrink, right? But I know what I did with it. You know, I used it as an excuse later on in life to destroy my life. I used it later to guilt them to give me what I needed or what I wanted. You know, I milking my parents with the guilt they had from fighting in front of me when I was a little kid, you know, and everything else that they did, you know. And as a parent now, with all, you know, I got a lot of kids. Like, as being a parent now, I know that like it ain't an easy thing to do, you know. It ain't an easy thing to do, and things are irritating, and you got a lot of pressure, and you got to put meat on the table, and you got to pay the bills, and you got to do a lot of stuff, you know. And you got to like make sure everybody's making it to practice. My kids are in private school. I got to go show up at the private school. I got to do this, got to do lunch duty, got to run over here and do that, all while working like 3 jobs, and you know, the insanity of it all, you know. And my parents did the best they could with what they had, you know. And but I didn't take it like that, man. I took it like poor me, you know, poor me. You know, I just took it and just used it as a lot of excuses to destroy my life and to disrespect them. And I see that for what it is today. Thank God. You know, most kids when they grow up, they want to be you know, like a freaking scientist or you know, like a cop or a fireman. I wanted to be a gangster when I grew up. I'd see the guys. Funny thing was, I didn't really want to be a gangster. I wanted to be an alcoholic, right? But I just seen these guys were in the neighborhood. My friend, my brother, all these other guys. They were always like, "I do what I want, when I want, who I want, how I want," right? And I was like, "Yeah, that's the kind of guy I want to be." You know, they all were alcoholic, drug addicts. I didn't. So like, that's what I wanted. That's what I felt. You know what I mean? That's what I like. That's what I resonated with. Was that part of them, you know? And I tried to do that, man. I tried to be that. I was excited about it. I was excited about like running some type of criminal enterprise, be it selling drugs or any type kind of other scams. We had like check scams with truckers, all kinds of other stuff. Little cons we'd run. I had a little crew. My first one was I found a bunch of tickets. You know, what are those? What are they called? Raffle tickets, right? I found a bunch of raffle tickets in a dumpster, and me and my little crew were going door to door selling it for a Cure for AIDS Foundation that we made up, you know. And I was really excited about that. And these aren't good things to be excited about. It's not like that has nothing necessarily to do with my alcoholism, except like the point I'm trying to make here is that I was passionate about that. That's what I wanted to do with my life, and I gave it up. I gave it up because of alcohol and drugs. It took that from me. It took that passion. It took that drive from me. And that's what it does. That's what it does, man. Everything that I drank and used narcotics against my own will, and it was a long time. For a long time, I'd get in trouble and I would have to come to meetings and like go to rehab and detox for the judge. I'd have to do it for my mother. I'd have to do it for my old lady. I'd have to do it for my kids. Right. But there came up and I would just do it, get them off my back. And then when the heat was off and everything cooled off, I'd start using it again because it was the only thing that made me feel okay inside, And I thought everybody just didn't understand. They could just understand this is what I need to function. Like, God, stop, get off my case, and man, I just it's hard to find the words, there was a point, right, that I knew I was screwing up my life, that I wanted to stop. There was a point that I'm like, this is dumb. I can think of just one incident in particular. Is I broke every glass table in my house, threw my pregnant old lady down a flight of stairs, and passed out. And the cops wake me up. I'm surrounded by like empty pill bottles and liquor bottles, and all the glass tables are broke. I don't know if she told them I threw her down the stairs. She's pretty pissed off at me. But they wouldn't take me to jail because they were scared I was going to die. Right? They just seen the pill bottles and the liquor, and they're like, this dude's going to die. So they stuck me in a hospital, and the hospital kept me for 72 hours, just a regular detox time. And when I got out, I was like, I'm so sorry, baby. I ain't going to drink no more. I'm telling you, I'm done with it. Never again. I'm never going to drink. And man, when I said it, I meant it, I meant I wasn't going to drink. And, 6, 7 o'clock at night comes rolling around, man, and I ain't comfortable in my own skin. And my feet just start moving to the store. I'm a dirty drunk. I'm a Steel Reserve chugging, type of guy. And shoot dope during the day and drink myself into a blackout every night. That's my MO. And that's what I did. I drank right there, and her watching me in horror, with my kid. I get off work, man. She's like, baby, please don't drink tonight. Please don't drink. And I'm just, girl, chill. I'm just going to go in here and get some cigarettes, But I walk over to the cooler and get an armful of Steel Reserve. Like, I don't even have a choice in the matter, Like, and I don't know why. The next day I wake up, I'm over blacked out, my own pissed again. And I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why do I keep doing this over and over again? And I'm so hungover, I need some painkillers, some Xanax, and a shot of dope, something, just so I can function that day and regroup. And it was just a cycle, man. It went over and over again. And it happened and went on to some degree or another for 20 years of my life. And, I got caught with a gun at 15. I got hit by a semi truck at 19. I got run over by a car at 12. That started the painkillers, right? But getting hit by the semi truck, man, I was pronounced dead on the scene, right? I'm in the hospital. It took me 2 weeks to come back, 2 weeks to come back, and the insanity, just the insanity. I didn't even want to stop. It wasn't like maybe I need to slow down, It was like, come on, I gotta get moving, let's get this going. I need a shot of dope, and and now I can walk in any doctor and get a prescription, that was I was excited. I was happy about that. You know, like I lost the complete use of my arm. Right, I can't bend it all the way. I can't straighten it all the way. But like I was happy because I could walk in any doctor and get painkillers. You know, sick. You know, and you know, I think that paints a pretty good picture of my addiction. You know, and I think that most, you know, if you're like me, not everybody needs that. Some people can go to rehab and they never drink or use dope again. I'm worse off. I'm not that kind of guy. I went to church, man. I tried to get dipped and dunked and all that, and it didn't work for me. And some people do that, and that's cool for them, you know, but it don't work for me. It's a 12-step fellowship is what I belong to. That's where I got sober. That's how I learned to live life sober. And it was only after I was all out of ideas, you know, when I said I ain't gonna drink no more, I drank for another 10 years. And when I stopped trying to figure out my way of doing it and did it a way that somebody else figured out in the 1930s, I became open. I took enough of a beating to become open-minded to listen to these other guys, and it went away. And it went away fairly quickly. At least the desire to drink did. You know, the way we did it, man. And it was I did just right a 4th step and doing a 5th step. It wasn't Mike. I didn't do it my first one with. It was this other guy, but I mean he did it the same as out of the book as anybody else. And I did my 5th step, man. I told this guy every grimy, sick thing that came to mind. It wasn't everything. More stuff came up later, but it was everything I could think of legitimately. And then I was walking back from McDonald's because it was like a 5-mile walk from the halfway house to McDonald's. I worked a 10-hour shift and walked 5 miles back, and I'm sitting there and I'm bitching and I'm complaining. And I'm like, I ain't got no cigarettes, and this motherfucker drank my milk, and like everything else that happens when you live in a halfway house because you burned your life to the ground. And he was like, Billy, man, what was the last time you thought about getting loaded? And it'd been you know, I'd only been sober a couple of weeks, but like, man, I legitimately couldn't remember the last time I thought about getting loaded. And like, that was a miracle for me because that's all I ever thought about since I started rolling, you know, like, it's how I was going to get more, how I was going to stay on this shit, you know? And I was like, holy shit, this works, you know, this works, man. And it was like the pressure was off me for that. Now, I mean, it don't stay gone unless I keep doing the work, you know. I still got to keep doing the work today. But man, once I bought in, I did it out of desperation. But once I bought in, man, I was all in, you know. Just like when I wanted to be a gangster, or when I discovered that drugs were the answer to all my problems. Like, I was all in, 100%, you know. And I did what they told me to do, you know. I can remember going into meetings, man, and not feeling like it was YPG was one in particular, right? Like, I'd go into a YPG meeting. It's like a young people's recovery group. I guess I should say that, not mention any groups by name, whatever. I don't know how that fucking works, but whatever. Anyways, so like I go into this young people recovery group, right? And like I never felt like I belonged, mostly because I was in ripped, you know, clothes, and I smell like French fries from working at McDonald's, and all these other kids are like all fresh and shit. And like I just never felt like I was one of them, you know. And I would tell my sponsor, I was like, yeah, I just don't feel like I fit in with these guys. Like, you selfish prick. He said, stop thinking about what you can take from them. All right. Now you go find the sickest son of a bitch you can, and you put your hand out to him. You talk to him. He said, if you do that, you'll watch a fellowship grow up around you. It's an experience you won't want to miss. And so that's what I did. Some of my best friends that I have today, I met mumbling to themselves outside of Alcoholics, outside of 12-step meetings, right? Out of 12-step meetings. And it was, it's really cool, you know. I don't know, man. I worked at McDonald's. I knocked up this newcomer chick, and I was also washing dishes at this other place. And I was having this kid, and it was really like I was really stressed out because I didn't make but like $8 an hour. And somebody come along and said, "Billy, you're too smart to be washing dishes. Why don't you come sell RVs with me?" And I said, "All right, dude, I'm gonna go sell RVs with you. You know, I'm gonna try to run through this pretty quick." I got there. I don't really know how to work computers, and I don't really know anything about RVs. I never sold nothing except drugs, which kind of sell themselves anyway. And I failed, and they fired me. But they didn't fire me. I guess the guy kind of liked me, and he didn't want to see me go. But he knew I quit my job as a dishwasher, and he stuck me in a BDC. And these old ladies, it was me and all these old ladies in the BDC, and it's the Business Development Center for anyone who doesn't know anything about dealerships. We make calls, set appointments for salespeople, and so, man, everything I learned from those old ladies and making phone calls. And this guy, he's my business partner today. I own a dealership today, by the way. And but the guy who's my business partner today, he said, "Hey, man, those old ladies are making 30 calls a day. If you want to make something of yourself, you're gonna need to go in there. You're gonna need to make 100 calls a day. Like if you want to, don't worry about what they're doing. You know, this is what you need to do." And so, man, just making phone calls, running back and forth, finding out if somebody asked me a question I didn't know, I'd ask somebody, man. I just built up all this understanding. And it didn't take long, man, before I was like top on the sales totem pole, man. Like I was like pretty up there, at least for that month. You know, I'm not sure how to say it. I'm a pretty good salesman. I wouldn't say I was the best, but I made money like I never thought possible. I made like $5,000 a week. It was insane. And like they were paying me $8 an hour to answer phones, but like then they were like, "Well, you can go." You know, I had like so much stuff going on. I like that they were like, "Yeah, I mean, you can get the commission on it too if you sell it, if you write it up." You know what I mean? They're like, "Whatever, no, Dumbo, nobody cares." You know what I'm saying? Like if you're bringing money to the table, nobody cares. Like you can do whatever you want. You know? That's when I discovered sales. This shit's awesome, and I would highly encourage people to do it. I anyways, it didn't take long. They gave me my own store. They made me a general manager. And then Camping World came and bought us out. I didn't want to work for Camping World, so I had to move to Georgia. And one of the owners of that place, actually both the owners, after they sold to Camping World, invested in me to start a dealership here. And gave me ownership, partial ownership and all that stuff. And, convicted felon junkie with no education. That was a dishwasher, and now own a dealership. I also own a couple other companies. I own a t-shirt company. It's not doing too well, though. I'm not proud of it. But, everything we do can't be winners. I got the cleaning company, Faithfully Made, that Lindsay pretty much runs. I run like advertisement and get contracts signed up and stuff like that. That's done pretty well. That also helps people that have like a checkered past. It gives them honest work to do because we do move outs for property managers. And there's nothing in there to steal. So doesn't matter. It's not a huge liability. It's a good place to start, to get your feet wet. If you're living in a halfway house and no one else will hire you. Lord knows I've been there, The kid I gave up for adoption, I was talking about that earlier. My parents adopted her, and they gave her back. They gave her back a couple of months ago. My mom's dead. She's been dead a long time. My stepfather raised her, and he's getting up there in age, and she's got my genes, so she's buck wild. And they're like, "Come on, take her," So now she lives with me up here. That's been an amazing thing, to have that child back. That's one of those things I just never thought would happen, in my life, was that I'd get my children back. Little only, I live in a house, I own 3 cars, and I got a pool. It's in ground and everything. And like that's all stuff, man. I mean, it's all just material stuff, right? I ain't trying to like brag about it. But like I use it to illustrate the point that like I didn't think I'd get any of this shit. If you told me any of this stuff when I first got sober was even like a possibility, I'd have said you were crazy, that there was no way, But like you'd be running 4 companies and you'd have your own crib and you're getting married to this hottie and like you get your kid back and all that stuff. I just never thought it would ever happen, you know. And here I am, you know. Here it is. It's all happening. I got my kid. I got a house, and I got all that. And you know what, man? It ain't gone away. You know, like the initial urge to use and drink that I always had, that's for the most part been lifted. But I'm still sick, man. I'm still sick. You know, it's the disease is still there. It tugs at me. I got her mom lives with me, right? And she's on painkillers and you know, old people take that shit. It's like 60 something, right? And you know, just out of nowhere, I'm start thinking that'd be a good idea to go rob Granny, you know, for medicine. Like I don't know, I'm getting stressed out with life, I guess, and I'm like, I guess maybe part of my brain, the disease is whispering in my ear, and it's like, you know, go get you know, Granny's got that shit up there. She's got that morphine and Xanax. Pop that. It's my favorite combo, you know. So I tell on myself, you know. I get I go into my meetings, man, to my support group, whatever you want to call it. I tell them, I'm like, hey man, I'm thinking about this. And I'm not as worried as it would be if I kept it to myself, you know. That'd be really scary. But like I put it out there, I tell people, when people give me suggestions, they're like, well, why don't you write this down? You know, why don't you think about this? What do you need? Mike was like, what do you need relief from? You know, I need relief from my awesome life, which comes with responsibilities. You know, like I got a whole messed up view on things. You know what I mean? Like my view is, I gotta get the kids to school. I gotta go to work. I gotta make all these phone calls. I gotta deal with these heat case customers. You know what I mean? But like, I get to do all those things. I get to take my child I gave up for adoption to school. You know, I get to do management stuff for my company, man. I'm like, I gotta go clean. It's like I gotta go clean my pool. You know what I'm saying? Like I get to clean my pool. I got a pool in my backyard, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm living a dream. You know what I mean? But it's so easy to not, you know, to forget that, to get knocked off of that. You know, it's so easy to get off track, man. That you know, the sickness is there, and it ain't never gonna go away. It ain't never gonna go away. I'm always gonna have to be transparent to those around me. I'm always gonna have to do self-inventory. We call it inventory, self-reflection, self-examination. Helping others, you know, I can't work a program completely based on helping others. It requires self-examination too, because otherwise I'll get some kind of messiah complex. I've done it a bunch of times. You know, I get out there and I'm taking trash out at the meetings and I'm trying to sponsor everybody. I'm like, hey, look at me. Look at how spiritual I am. You know, I get a big head and I can't do that. You know, I can't do that. I gotta tell people that stuff's going on in my head, man. I gotta like ask God to bring me right back sized, you know. I gotta try to be rid of my selfishness. And all that stuff. That's right. Transparency, honesty, self-inventory. Thank you, Veronica. See, I just spent 10 minutes talking about it. She wrote it in like 4 words. Anyways, I don't know, man. I'm getting married June 4th. It's kind of a stretch of it. I'm not that worried about it. She's a beautiful girl. She didn't care that you know, $20 is $20 and a fella's gotta make a living. She knows all the dirty shit about me. I always worried about a chick finding out that I did some gay stuff with a dude when I was a kid or whatever. That shit that we all carry around in us. But like, she doesn't give a shit. You know, all the grimy shit I ever did my whole life or any of that, she already knows about it. I know about all her shit. You know, and I'd probably trust her more than anybody I've ever been with. You know, I love the shit out of her. It's something I never experienced before. It's a trip, you know. And let's see, we talked about career, getting married, talked about my kids, Talked about the sickness still being here.
Hey, and if anybody doesn't know, last week his wife, his soon-to-be wife, shared her story last week, Lindsay. So it's a double bubble these last 2 weeks with them. So I just wanted to share that real quick. But are you let me ask you a question. Like I just want to kind of interact with you a little bit.
Sure.
But like, like when we're sharing our stories, like it's hard. We don't ever share the successes sometimes because it's like, like we're what's that word I'm looking for? We're boosting our successes, but I think it's very important that we talk about the successes, that we talk about the things we have, maybe not the materialistic things, but dude, like if you were anything like me, you sound like it, like we're gutter junkies, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
So it's important to talk about the successes too, man. I have a freaking pool too. Like, yeah, it's all good, man. We're pool brothers. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's super important to be talking about it, to talk about, homeowners, business owners. I mean, these things can come true as long as you stay the course and you're living that dream, and I think it's super important that we share that. So, I just wanted to add that. But yeah, you got anything else, Billy?
I can't think of anything else.
Perfect.
I guess that's all I got.
That's all you got. All right. It's awesome, man, to getting married, living the dream, dude. Like I never thought I'd be married in my life, but here we are. You're getting married June 4th. Congratulations on that, by the way. And I don't know if Mike wants to say anything. You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on,
He's gonna say I should have talked about step work more.
No, not here.
You
Other
can-
places, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that would have ran through my head.
You could talk about it. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
It's not that we don't want to talk about it. We just don't want to force something on people that we want to keep this really open minded. But one thing that really stood out, that Billy said, and I love this about people in recovery, right? I mean, he just came out and said, I did stuff with dudes when I was a kid, and everyone listening, I'll speak for you. Like, we respect the shit out of that you're willing to just drop that, right? You do that anywhere else in the world and they look at you really crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to point out it's the power of recovery that we are able to be as transparent as we are. And it's one thing that really binds us together. You know what I mean? Billy hit on a bunch of things, man. And one of the other things I picked up on, was the ego and how, we all go through this, man. I haven't battled, drugs and alcohol for a while, but I battle ego on a daily basis, man. And, it was, the idea with ego is that, I'm doing everything for the benefit of other people, which is really what it's not confidence. You know what I'm saying? If I'm confident, I don't need people to know shit. Right. And it took me a long time to figure that out. Everything I did was from the perception of how other people would view me. Right. And what that really tells me is that I still got a lot of work to do inside. You know what I mean? If I need that much recognition from people, like I got to check a couple things, the same thing goes with fitting in. You know what I mean? When we get sober and we get around a bunch of people who already know each other and they're cliquey and whatever, man, one of the reasons I got high so long was because I didn't fit in. Right. And then I step into recovery and I don't fit in with these guys either, man. These dudes are hugging each other outside of meetings. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me, and really all people want you to be is authentic, which is what Billy is 110%, which I've always respected about Billy. You know what I mean? Billy doesn't hide shit. He puts it right on Front Street. Here it is. And he's one of the funniest dudes I've met, and he doesn't even know he's funny half the time. You know what I mean? Because he just blurts it out. And I love that about him. We do get a lot of stuff in recovery, man. We got, I'm living a life I would have never dreamed of, and it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks this week, man. I was watching my wife with my son and my daughter, and I'm just like, I just got overwhelmed. Like, holy shit, like this is my life now. You know what I mean? Because my entire life I told myself that that was not possible ever, you know. And it took me, I think it was I think I was about 9 years sober at the time, man, and I was sitting in a meeting and we were going around doing affirmations, and I just blurted it out, I deserve the life I have today. And it took me 9 years to feel that. You know what I mean? Like I always felt like I did not deserve the stuff that was happening to me, you know? And that's a huge part of recovery too. And I knew I meant that shit, man, because I teared right up and I was like, I was really, really overwhelmed that night. The
I
stuff.
love, I love that I deserve the life that I have, because like it is true. Like we feel like we don't deserve, and that's like a formula for self-sabotage. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Because mama
absolutely.
tried. Mama
Mhm.
tried.
Mama did her best, you know. And that's another thing that came with me with my recovery, man, is my family wanted to actually be a part of my life again. And some people took a lot longer than others, you know. I work with families for a living now, man, and I see the dynamics, and it's insane because the best thing my mom ever did was kick me the fuck out. It saved my
Yeah.
life. It saved my life, man. And me and her are tighter than ever. I just went and had lunch with her today. I wouldn't have done that before, you know. I make effort with the people around me. Where I get messed up now is I will sit around and I will bitch about the things that I've always said I wanted. Does that make sense? Like Billy kind of touched on it, like, oh my, my 2-year-old's acting like a 2-year-old, and my
Yeah.
awesome puppy sucks right now, and these are the things that I get really riled up about, and oh, I only made 2 grand instead of 3. Like it's fucking asinine. The things that go on in my head now. And I rewind, 11 years ago when I was like Billy, man. I was wearing my jail slides, 5 months sober to the meetings, man. And I never forget that stuff, man. I go into an entire, how do I want to phrase this? 11 years ago, I laid in a field at my treatment center at this looking up at the stars, and I had nothing, no family, no money. Everybody was gone. I didn't even have clothes. I had the set of clothes I was wearing, and I looked up at the sky and I saw stars, and it was the first time I'd noticed stars in as long as I could remember. And in that moment, I was happy, right? So why 11 years later do I need all this shit to be happy? Like, why do I need that stuff? You know what I mean? I know damn well I can be happy with absolutely nothing, and like I preach to a lot of these guys over and over again, man. My foundation for my recovery is not my family. It's not my job. It's not my house. It's not my car. It's none of that stuff. And people look at me crazy when I say my foundation is not made of my family, but it isn't. Because I could wake up tomorrow and my family could be gone. You know what I mean? I built a foundation on my spiritual principles, the spiritual lifestyle, helping others the best I can, and what I call God. And I am the only one that takes those things away. Right. So if the house blows over, my foundation's still there. I can always build on that foundation no matter what happens. Right. And I've been through some traumatic shit in sobriety, man. I lost my twin sister. I've been through some stuff, and because of that foundation, man, I've never not been able to rebuild a house. If that makes any sense. It's probably a really bad analogy, but that's the best way I can explain
It makes sense, bro. Like
it. And
it makes sense.
I love watching people like Billy and Johnny, all these guys that I've been with for years, man. It's just, it does something inside to me, you know what I mean? And I'm not taking responsibility for that. You know what I mean? I just showed up because my program told me to. That was it. You know what I mean? I still do a lot of things that I got to check myself on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I gotta hit some meetings. I gotta call some people, which is the best thing that we get in recovery, is the option of not being alone anymore. Right? Being alone is a choice at all times since the day I got sober, because I'm the one that would rather sit in comfortable self-pity than pick my phone up. You know what I mean? And these are the things I had to relearn. And, you know, a lot of the people that I work with, like I try to emphasize the fact that, yeah, you know, your son's 35, but he's been using since he was 16. Like, he's still 16. he hasn't learned these things, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's just the way we can benefit, you know, from the people around us is just phenomenal. I feel like I've been talking way too long. I'm going to stop, Justin.
Hey, it's okay, man. I just let you go, bro. You know, you don't stop Mike, bro. I
just did. I love you. I love you, Billy.
Love you too, Bobby.
Hey, somebody I don't know if you've seen that question. It says, "What is your job, Mike? Are you in addiction work?"
I am. I won't get real into it, but I'll be happy to message you after. I won't name drop or anything, but yeah, I do work with families and intervention and trainings and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's the Florida Dr. Phil. Just saying. No. The bald head.
Yeah, I think he's got more hair than I
do. You know, Billy, you know, what is it? So like getting up in Georgia, man, did you get a good support group up there? You still hanging on to the ones in Ocala, like Mike, your sponsor? I'm guessing Mike is your sponsor, huh?
Oh yeah, he's one of them.
He's one of them.
I got one here too. I did with Alcoholics Anonymous.
It's okay.
I did what they told me to do. I came in here, I went to meetings, I got to know people like me, and I found a commitment and a rehab, you know? And I go into that rehab every week until COVID shut me down from it. But I'd go out there and I'd meet people, and they're coming out of rehab. And you feel like make a lot of friends that way, you know? Get a good support group, you know? And if my current surroundings ain't okay, or I'm unwilling to talk to them, I got people in Ocala I'll talk to. You know, people I got sober with. I mean, I got a huge group. In this game, you got to keep making friends. Unfortunately, the old ones die.
Mm-hmm.
Mother of my youngest child, that newcomer girl I'm knocked up. She OD'd on fentanyl and died. You know, and that's just how it is, man. My best friend, dude, one guy, his name was Troy. Man, he really taught me a lot about step work. And he taught me mostly, though, because he died of this disease. He taught me mostly that every sober breath we take is a miracle. You know, it's a miracle. And when I didn't, he'd really emphasize it when he couldn't draw sober breaths anymore, and he was stuck in it, man, and how miserable he was. And he would come and see me all the time, tell me and want to do everything he could, and he couldn't, man. And I don't want to let. He's one of my best friends. He would have been the best man at my wedding. He would have been the best man at my wedding. And that's all I'll say about that. I don't want to be a downer.
Yeah, no, you're all good, man. You know, it's the facts of this disease, man. You know, it's taking people we know, we love, we care about. So, you know, it's sad, but it's the facts, you know. So anyways, I guess that's it for tonight, guys. I appreciate you all being here and hearing Billy's story. Thank you, Billy, for coming on here and sharing your story with us, man. And good luck in your ventures up there. You seem like you're doing really well. And Mike, thank you for coming on and introducing our speaker. I appreciate you, man, and sharing. And thank you guys.
Anytime you guys need me, Justin.
Yeah, of course, man. You know, I would like to get you on here a little bit more, Mike. We love your philosophy, man. You're just a wise person, dude. I respect you. I respect the shit out of you. Yeah.
I still don't take that to that well.
I don't give a shit, bro. I don't give a shit what you think.
I want Billy on here more often. I want to see Billy's face more than I do.
All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Oh, you bail. Well, thank you guys for being here. This Sunday, man, catch us here live, 8 p.m. We're going to be doing our topic meetings on Sunday, 8 p.m. right here live on the Hope Shot. And we till then, see you guys. Good night.